Look at your bank statement, not the big payments, the small ones. $9.99, $12, $29. They don't look dangerous. But together, they might be draining more money from you than your rent increase ever did. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Companies don't want you to buy from them once. They want you paying forever. This isn't convenience. This isn't innovation. This is one of the most powerful business models ever created. And once you see how it works, you'll never look at $9.99 per month the same way again.
Chapter 1. The Death of the One-Time Sale.
Let's rewind. In the old world, companies sold products. You bought a CD, you owned it. You bought Microsoft Office, you owned it. You bought a razor, you replaced it occasionally. Revenue was unpredictable. Companies had to constantly convince you to buy again. It was stressful, volatile, risky. Then something changed. Businesses realized selling once is good, getting paid forever is better.
Chapter 2. The Predictability Revolution.
Wall Street loves one thing above all else: predictability. If a company knows exactly how much money is coming in next month, next quarter, next year, investors reward it. This is why subscription-based companies often trade at higher valuations than traditional businesses. Because subscriptions create recurring revenue, predictable cash flow, lower customer acquisition risk, higher lifetime customer value. It's not just about money, it's about stability. And stability increases company valuation. But that's only half the story. The real magic happens inside your brain.
Chapter 3. The $9.99 Illusion.
Why does $9.99 feel cheap? Because your brain doesn't multiply it. It categorizes it. Less than $10. Your brain processes subscriptions as small, manageable, temporary, even though they're permanent. Here's the trick. A $120 annual payment feels expensive. But $9.99 per month feels painless. Same price, different psychology. This is called mental accounting. Companies know you evaluate recurring payments differently than large upfront purchases, and they design pricing accordingly. But the real power move isn't pricing. It's friction.
Chapter 4. The Power of Default.
When was the last time you canceled a subscription? Not because you were angry, but because you simply forgot. That's not accidental. Subscriptions exploit something called inertia bias. Humans prefer doing nothing. If canceling requires logging in, remembering a password, clicking through 4 screens, confirming twice, most people delay it. Delay becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. Companies don't need you to love the service, they just need you to not cancel. And here's where it gets even smarter.
Chapter 5. The Free Trial Trap.
Start your free 30-day trial. You feel safe, you feel in control. But the moment you enter your credit card, the dynamic changes. Why? Because now cancellation becomes an action, and action requires effort. Many people intend to cancel, but few actually do. Even worse, you psychologically anchor to the service. You start using it, you integrate it into your routine. By the time payment hits, it feels justified. You've already adjusted your lifestyle around it. That's not luck, that's design.
Chapter 6. The Lifetime Value Game.
Here's the number companies obsess over: LTV, lifetime value. Not how much you pay today, how much you'll pay over years. If you pay $15 per month for 4 years, that's $720. Suddenly, customer acquisition cost makes sense. A company might spend $200 on ads to get you, because they know you're worth $720, and that's assuming you never upgrade. Subscription businesses think long-term, you think monthly, and that asymmetry is their edge.
Chapter 7. The Switching Cost Illusion.
Once you've used a service for months, switching feels painful. Your playlists are saved, your files are stored, your habits are built, your data is embedded. You don't just cancel, you disrupt your routine. Companies intentionally increase what's called switching costs. Not always financially, emotionally, behaviorally, operationally. The longer you stay, the harder it feels to leave. And most people don't like friction.
Chapter 8. The Subscription Creep.
Notice something? Everything is becoming a subscription. Software, cars, fitness, food, entertainment, even mattresses. Why? Because subscription revenue compounds. One customer paying once is revenue. One customer paying forever is an asset. And when millions of customers do that, it becomes a machine. That's why companies shift from ownership to access. You don't own movies anymore. You access them. You don't own software. You license it. Ownership gives you control. Access gives companies control. That shift is intentional.
Chapter 9. The Hidden Risk.
Here's what most people miss. Subscriptions reduce price sensitivity. When you pay once, you evaluate carefully. When you pay monthly, you normalize it. 10 subscriptions at $10 each feels smaller than one $100 payment. Even though it's the same, over time subscription stacking becomes invisible, until one day you audit your expenses and realize you're paying hundreds for things you barely use. But companies know something powerful. Most people won't audit.
Chapter 10. The Investor Perspective.
If you were an investor, which business would you prefer? A store that hopes customers come back, or a platform that automatically charges 2 million people every month? Recurring revenue businesses are valued higher because they reduce uncertainty. And in markets, reduced uncertainty increases multiples. That's why SaaS companies exploded. That's why media shifted. That's why even physical products now try subscription models. Predictability is power.
Chapter 11. The Illusion of Choice.
Companies frame subscriptions as convenience. Cancel anytime. Flexible plans. Pause whenever. But what they rarely advertise is the psychological friction of cancellation, or the difficulty of leaving an ecosystem, or the long-term financial accumulation. The model isn't designed for your flexibility, it's designed for your retention.
Chapter 12. Can you beat the system?
Now here's the twist. Subscriptions aren't evil. They're efficient. They reduce upfront cost. They improve access. They fund innovation. The problem isn't the model. It's the awareness gap. If you track your subscriptions quarterly, avoid stacking similar services, evaluate annual versus monthly pricing, set cancellation reminders during free trials, you regain control because the system only works invisibly. Once visible, you can navigate it intelligently. So next time you see only $9.99 per month, ask yourself, is this a product or is this a long-term financial relationship? Because that's what subscriptions really are. Not payments, relationships, and companies don't want you for 1 month. They want you forever.
If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe. Next video is coming up next week.